so I'm going to take a look at 10b and kind of explain, or 10a, and kind of explain that whole process here. So we're creating a brand new function that's called frame all images. Okay. In order to do that, we need to take a look at what currently exists and how the current system works. So the current frame that's created creates these 4 ellipses, right? 4 ellipses in the corner. Okay, that is this portion of the code. This is the portion that creates those 4 ellipses in the corner, or those 4 circles. Okay, then the part right above that creates 2 polygons. Now that's not going to fit directly, but you guys see the point, right? It's going to create a polygon like that, and then it's going to create a polygon that's shaped like this. And of course it hits the right spots. Okay, you guys get that? That's what these 2 portions of code do. So if we're creating a new function called frame all images, and which in turn we would create a new function called frame images, okay, we need to work on like the pattern of the shapes that get shown in the program. You guys get that? So currently this is the pattern of the shapes that get shown in the program, or it looks more like this. Okay? You guys get that? Okay. And the part of the pictures, when the pictures are edited, the part that actually shows up is just the part that's this piece, this shape overlaps on. You guys get that? Okay. So the new mask that we need to create is actually much, much simpler than this. Okay? Because this one goes around a picture like that and just shows what's in there. All we want is we want it to have some appearance of a border. So we actually just need to create a mask that's one rectangle that's in the center of the circle. You guys get that? Or the center of the picture itself. There's another piece that we need to change. We need to change the canvas that mask and that original image is applied on. We need to change the color of that canvas originally, so that then it represents a border. You with me? So we create a mask that just shows this area of the picture, but before that we create a layer, essentially a pill image, that's going to be the background that's going to show up as if it's the border. Got it? Okay, and that's the word color that shows up here. The word wide is this distance. All right? So in order to do that, though, we have to understand where these 4 corners are in relationship to the size of the original image. Got it? You following me? Over here, this code gives us the width and the height of the original image. So we have 2 fixed variables here that represent the width and the height. We also have polygons that are defined by the bounding box. Okay? Do you guys see the 4 different ordered pairs that are represented? Those are represented in a clockwise fashion. They're written down in a clockwise fashion. It doesn't really matter which order you put them in, as long as you do consecutive ones clockwise or counterclockwise. If you cross like opposite corners of the box, it's going to give you some really weird shape. It's not going to give you like a rectangle. You guys got that? Okay. So so now how do we find the ordered pairs for this? Let me get a bigger circle. I'm going to do this with the mouse. These 4 points. When this is our variable wide, and we know that it's our variable wide because we're passing it to it, and this is represented by width, right? Because that's a variable that shows up that we're given by size, and this is height. Okay, so when we're making changes to this, we actually don't care about all of this stuff, right? That doesn't matter. We no longer need that. And we only need one of these drawing layers. And the coordinates for those drawing layers are referenced to what we just did on the board. So this would be wide, 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 wide. And this one would be, we'll go clockwise, width minus wide, width minus wide, comma, wide. Thank you. This one would be, can somebody read it to me? Bottom right.
Width minus y.
Of course, if I type things in wrong, pair program with me and make changes for me. What's the next one? You guys good with that? You guys follow all that mess? Okay. All right, so what we've done is we've created the polygon that's represented by the rounding mass. You guys with me on that? What we don't really care about is what the color of that actually is, because we're using it as a mask, so that color itself won't really show up. Got it? The spot where we're talking about mixing the two and representing the color is this piece. Remember yesterday I talked about how that's a new object called result. That's actually going to be represented by the brand new background to the final image. This piece gives the corners the appearance that they're translucent. This is translucent, right? White. We don't want it to be translucent white because this is now going to represent that frame, and we want that frame to be some other color. So we actually can pick whatever color we feel like, not 1000. And let's make that 62. And we don't want it to be transparent. We want it to be opaque. All right? Cool? So now that's the new background. That's this piece right out here, the new background. Word? All right. Rounded mask, original image. Our rounded mask gets applied to a rounded mask, and all that mess going back up here. We don't need this anymore, correct? Because we don't have a circle, so we don't care about the radius stuff. We do need this so we get these two variables, width and height, into our program. The other components we need to make changes now. So we just changed the rounded mask. So the rounded mask part and how it gets applied to one single image, we're good. What we now need to change is what variables and what arguments get passed to this function that we're no longer going to call round corners. We're going to call it frame image. Okay? Because this is now framing an image. It's not rounding corners. So let's make the name of it purposeful. We know that it gets passed in original image. We need that to stay consistent. And the two arguments that we give to the function to begin with are color and wide. And I just realized I made an error below. Okay? Color and wide, because color, the error that I just described is because we're passing it to the color as the user. Like when we call the function frame all images, we're giving the color that we want the border to be. So instead of saying that the border is going to be this random color, we're going to call it color and then tell it in the IPython session when we get there. Okay? We're going to call this color instead. Got it? Instead of making up a specific color, we're going to make up the color at the beginning of the program when we actually call the program. Got it? So we have these three images, or these values getting passed. We're using color right here. We're using the variable wide in here. Got it? All right. So now we're going to go down to this function. We don't touch this function. It does its deed, and we're good. Ignore that. So down here, we don't want it to be round all corners of all images. We want to be frame all images. Give it a better name for what we're actually doing. And we have been told that we want to give it a color and a height when we actually create it. So we're going to leave default directory none, or directory defaulting as none, color and wide. Got it? But we need to then access in this program, we used to call round corners, but now it's not round corners, it's frame image. So where we have round corners in here, we're going to change it to frame image. And remember, frame image needs to have three different arguments passed to it. Original image, color, and wide. Down here, we're only giving it, where did it go? Where'd you go? There. We're only giving it two pieces. We're giving it the original image that's created by this loop in this for loop, right? That gives it the original image. We need color to go in there and wide to go in there. Got it? So now those get passed to it, and we're done, I think. Did I miss anything? Am I seeing any errors? I feel like that's all. That should all work for you guys.